Hi, thanks for joining me. Welcome back, or if you're new, welcome. Today we want to look through and just review a music study that is focused on famous composers all the way from classical composers to modern day. It is called Conversations with Composers, and it is produced by My Homegrown Symphony, and I want to give them a big thank you and shout out for sending me this in exchange for my honest review. Also down below, there is a discount code for my watchers, so if you're interested in this and it looks good, go check out that code below and get a little bit of a discount off of the normal price. On their site, they do have PDF, which is what this is, and then I printed and bound it myself, but they also have physical copies, which is great. And she has a great tool on her website for moms who want to give some extras but don't have the time themselves, and that she has teaching videos available for purchase for a really affordable price. So you can purchase those videos, and then especially if one of your children is old enough to know how to use QR codes, that's really all they need. And she will walk them through the lessons, and then they can scan the QR codes for the activities instructions and for the additional listening and watching experiences that are part of this craft. So I think that's a great option for moms who are busy or who have some time in the morning that they need their children to be able to do things by themselves. This could really be a teacher-free item to use for you as a homeschool mom. So again, if you're interested, check those out because I think that's a great option for some people. It is targeted for ages 4 through 12. She has her activities broken up into two age grades, 4 through 8, 8 through 12, so that the younger learners and older learners can focus on different things. And then the main content is really available to be used for both. So you would do your content, your lesson, your videos, listening and with both, and then they would each have different activities. And the activities are not craft intensive. They're not massively hands-on. So I feel like it's an easier thing. It's really what she has here, but they still look engaging for children. They don't look just answer the questions. So I think it's a good mix of engaging, but not a lot of extra work for you as a teacher. You don't have to get a lot of extra supplies. And I really feel like this is pretty open and go. So that is really nice. I'm going to flip the camera around and let you see inside. So here we have Conversations with Composers by My Homegrown Symphony. And this is written and produced by Sonia Heinmarsh. We have our table of contents in the beginning, and there are a total of 12 composers discussed in this study. And they have it broken down by the Baroque era, Classical era, Romantic era, and the 20th century. And I think it's kind of fun that they didn't go for all classical or older composers, because I think it makes it easier for kids to relate to music that they have heard and that they've enjoyed on movies or other areas. She has a little bit of an introduction and a welcome and kind of how she intends this study to be used. And then she jumps straight into her composers. And I'm just going to give you a brief look at kind of what this looks like inside. I really like the look. I think it's simple and clean and neat without being boring and black and white. A lot of teachers' manuals end up just being super black and white, super boring. So I really like the layout of it. I kind of like how the things are broken out in boxes, so you have your different sections. But I feel like the layout and the way you follow it is very easy to follow. It's not chaotic to me, very simple, but still engaging, something that your kids can look at with you and kind of see the pictures and the different examples. And all of the composers are laid out like that. Just very, I feel like, engaging and enjoyable. And I like the art that she uses. There are these QR codes throughout the book. Not every composer has QR codes to go along with, but I would say the majority of them at least have some. And they tend to be overviews of his life or something having to do with his particular style of music or whatnot. Any materials you'll need for the study are listed here, so up front, and they are very minimal, like a listening platform in YouTube, right? We all have that. Doll cutouts, which is in the appendix, that's for the activity, the worksheets in the appendix, and a pen or pencil. So you really need pretty much nothing. She also has some additional information, which I really like. So a listening library of music by this composer that she would recommend listening to, some additional books to learn about the composer that you don't have to necessarily use in this study, but especially if you wanted to break up these studies into like more than 1 week, if you wanted to break it up over the month or over the week, you could totally listen to this once a week, her different recommendations, read a book once a week, and kind of make this a more long-lasting study. And I do like that this has the flexibility for kind of whatever timing you want. However much you're enjoying it, you can delve in, you can do others. She also, in some of them, let's see if I can find an example, not all of them, but some of them have some extension options for things that you can do, additional activities or other ideas, and a movie night suggestion. Again, not every single composer does, but some do. And I think that's kind of fun too, because if you were studying it and you want to go watch a movie, and I believe she does try to keep these pretty family friendly. So the way this is laid out is in the very beginning, she has, the name and the life dates of the author, and then setting the stage. And this is really supposed to be like a tagline or something interesting that engages the children and draws them in, asks them a question, some fun fact, something that kind of gets their attention. And then from there, she dives a little deeper and she goes into their bios and just tells a story. And I like the way she writes these. They're very enjoyable. They're short. So it's the total of here to here. So not a long read. And I feel like she pulls out facts that are interesting for children and for adults. Honestly, I've read through and been like, oh, I had no idea. Oh, that's cool. So I feel like they're not boring. They're not just dates and places and times and names of songs. She really pulled out some interesting things that a child could relate to or go, oh, that would be interesting. Or, oh, I didn't know that. Or, oh, he played like that many instruments. So kind of fun. And then often at the end of them, again, not always, but often she has a QR code that will go to like an overview of their life. And I have not looked at every single QR code in this book. I have not watched all of them, but I watched quite a few. I wanted to get a feel for what she did. And I feel like they're engaging. They're generally pretty short. And I feel like they're a good mix of styles and kind of interesting. So I think actually for a child, it'd be very enjoyable. You pull up this code and all of the codes for this composer will come up in order of how you use them. So you don't have to like scan each one in the book. You scan this one and then you can go to the top and you can use this one first. It'll be there and you scroll down and then what applies to this one, it'll be titled to match. So it's very easy to use. And so after you do the bio and maybe any other little bio that they have for you to watch, then they have an activity time where she gives you the instructions for the activities for the younger learners and the older learners. And her activities for these are all in the appendix. So this would be, sorry, let me find it here. Lesson, she labels them here so that you know where they go with. So lesson 6. So you would come out, and for the younger children, she has a doll cutout of Clara Schumann and her husband. And so that would be their activity. They'd get to cut it out and play with them, which is just kind of fun. And then for the older learners, it would be this information to learn about her life in Germany. So they would have some resources on German culture and on herself. And then they have some things for the children to fill out. So the capital of Germany, draw the German flag. What countries border Germany? Which countries did they perform in together, her and her husband? Where is the Robert Schumann house currently located? Her image was found on what notable document in 1989? What other notable musicians did she frequently perform with? So just kind of fun facts that they get to do. And so that would be for your ages 8 through 12, I believe. And then that would be it. So again, it's not super long. I think you could do this all in a half an hour pretty easily. Or if you wanted to break it up and do her bio, read some books, listen to some music, take some time to enjoy and do some additional research, I think you totally could stretch this out further. So I think it's very flexible on that. The activities in the back are a very good mix. I feel like they're not all the same thing. So for this one, it's a bingo card and they play music and the child has to listen for a specific instrument. And when they find that instrument, they get to put their bingo piece on the card, and she has multiple ones. So that's for the younger one. So you could have people compete if you have more than one young child. And then for the older ones, and she has the QR codes for all the pieces of music that they would play this with. And then for the older ones, they would listen to a piece of music and they would describe what they feel or what they see or hear when they listen to the music. They have this which talks about pipe organs, and they would get to learn some information about pipe organs. Some of these, they have your children draw what they hear. So to listen to the song, and then what does this song make you think of, and draw it. They have some, label the keys activities with different colors. I think make some lightsabers, so that would be John Williams. And they do split them up always for younger and older learners, which I like, but I think the activities are well diversified, I guess. So for this one, for the younger learners, they're supposed to look at this and kind of envision what they think maybe the music would look like, and then listen to the music itself. And they get to kind of have some questions. Was this what you thought it was going to be? How does music make you feel? Was it fast? Was it slow? Some just really basic, but ways to engage a child about music. So that is the inside. I really like this material. I look forward to teaching it with my kids in a few years. I think it's engaging. I think it's interesting. I think it's a good balance of hands-on, but not so much work for the teacher. Again, she has those teaching videos available for moms who just don't have the time to add another thing into their schedule, but would enjoy giving this to their kids. She has it in PDF form. She has hard copy form. So go check out what she has. She also sells these as individual composer studies, so you could buy just one and try it out if you want to, or just do the ones that interest you. She has a few other items available, so again, look at her site. I'll link it down below. And thank you for joining me today. If you enjoyed it, please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell so that you don't miss out on future videos, and I look forward to seeing you again.